Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called a limited security meeting. The goal of the 3-hour-long talks is to finalise a plan to present to the cabinet later on this week. Diana Magnay has more on this from Jerusalem.
This security meeting has now finished. It was 3 hours long and involved presentations by the Israeli Chief of Staff about how the next steps in Gaza might look. And what we understand is that the military is reluctant to go as far as Benjamin Netanyahu is reportedly discussing. According to Israeli media, quoting an unnamed official yesterday, the Prime Minister is considering a full-blown military expansion and an occupation of Gaza. And as far as the IDF is concerned, that oversteps their remit. It also may be really completely impossible to root out Hamas just by taking over the Strip and occupying it. It would involve heavy civilian casualties, seeing as Hamas are very much dug in under densely populated areas, especially, for example, Gaza City. And it would involve going into areas where the remaining hostages are thought to be kept, which would put their lives at risk too. But I think the reason why Mr. Netanyahu is now coming to this conclusion is because twofold. One, the collapse of the latest round of ceasefire talks in Doha, and two, the release over the weekend of these videos of Eviatar David and Ron Breslevsky, both Israeli hostages, looking completely emaciated, starved, obviously caused huge consternation here in Israel and across the world. We have the UN Security Council meeting and an emergency meeting later on tonight in New York to discuss a response. But the question is, full-blown occupation. This was never one of Benjamin Netanyahu's stated goals for the war. And will it actually achieve the objective of destroying Hamas? Not necessarily. We had on Sunday night a very powerful video from a whole number of former IDF and security chiefs saying it is just a fantasy for the Israeli government to think that it can kill every Hamas terrorist and get the hostages home. It hasn't happened in 22 months. There is no reason to see that it would happen now. And an occupation, what would that involve? We haven't had any flesh on the bones of this, but would that involve a fully fledged military administration looking after civilian life in Gaza? That carries legal obligations. They would have to provide food, clean water, clean the streets, start reconstruction, all of these things that the people of Gaza so desperately need. But in the meantime, if they do push ahead with a full-blown military expansion, which they might do perhaps because Israel has done so well against Hezbollah and Iran, perhaps the Prime Minister feels confident that he can do the same against Hamas now. But if they do go ahead, I think you can expect even more civilian casualties and a worsening, if that is even possible, of the humanitarian situation, which, as we've seen in the last few weeks and months, is already terrible.